All right.
We gotta gain them somehow. I guess. I don't know.
Goodness gracious. We'll make them listen to us.
Exactly. So we got some big news. Sweet 16 is now been officially set.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about everyone else, but my bracket is definitely busted. It is pretty gone. My girlfriend's doing actually better than me. It's really sad. I'm so bad. Every year, man. Every year I come in with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna pay as much attention to it or like have so much weight into it, and it doesn't matter. I think I could follow it closely all year, or I could follow it further back. It doesn't matter. It's I just am terrible at brackets every year. I don't know what it is, but it's still fun. It's still exciting. I still root for the underdog even if I don't have them picked. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's nothing better in my opinion than the NCAA tournament. You know, it's just if you love basketball, you love college basketball. It's just so much fun because there's always that one team that's always there. You know, this year, it might be Stanford, the 10 seed.
It's true. Stanford.
It could be Dayton.
Dayton. Yeah. No, Dayton's in it. Man.
Dayton's still in the 16.
Dayton's, man, Syracuse. They had it, dude. Yeah. They had Dayton threw the ball away.
Yeah,
this all under a minute. They threw the ball away, and then I don't know what they did. They missed their shot or whatever, and then Dayton got the ball back, and then Dayton got fouled. It was like, okay, well, you guys are idiots. Also, a good close game. North Carolina, Iowa State last night. Yeah. Great game.
Odd ending too. Very odd.
Really odd. Yeah. I was listening to some other sports programs. Yes, there's others that exist. And there were a lot of callers talking about how they didn't like the way the game ended. They were like, well, they should have, that's not the player's fault that he didn't know how much time was left. He tried to get across the court. They didn't expire the time correctly. For those who don't know, basically Iowa State hit a shot with about 1.6 seconds left. I think that was around it. 1.5. And North Carolina quickly tried to run up the court and call a timeout as fast as they possibly could. And the clock didn't start. And the refs had decided that the amount of time that would have allotted off the clock from where the player was would have ended the game. So they just ended the game instead of having him redo it. And I mean, ESPN did a thing on it too. It's like by the third dribble, it was like over. Like it was nowhere near the point where basically they were gonna try and go up the court, get a timeout, maybe have like fraction of a second left to get off a shot from a half court inbound, and it just wouldn't have worked out like what they were trying to do. And so, I mean, I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's not fair," blah blah. But come on, like, I mean, he would have needed a miracle shot to go in, and it's not fair to Iowa State.
Yeah, for sure.
They would have, they pretty much banked it in, knowing like, okay, you're not going to score at 1.6 seconds left. No. I mean, I know that the Christian Laettner thing that happened years back, but it's just not.
It's a long shot.
Yeah.
And North Carolina took it very well. I was very surprised. I thought their coach would erupt.
Yeah.
After that, because I don't know if you guys saw the end of the game, but at the end of the game, they kind of had both coaches together with the refs, and the refs were explaining it.
Yeah.
And then it was pretty much just pin drop quiet, and then you saw the two coaches shake hands, and the entire place just erupted.
Yeah. Roy Williams he seemed more irate with his team. Like, if you saw the game, like,
yeah,
he was mad when Iowa State came back. They were down by 8 late in the second half, and they went on an 8-0 run to tie it. And they Roy Williams just seemed incensed with his team. I mean, North Carolina had it to take away. I mean, they really did.
It was their game.
And so I think once that all happened, I think he was just like, you know what, like, I'm not going to protest it. Like, we pretty much lost. We threw this game away. So that was a pretty good game. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Kentucky beat Wichita State. So upset. I wanted Wichita State to be that perfect team so bad. And plus, tiny little Wichita State,
Wait, it was weird because they were undefeated, as you guys know, or may not have known. They were 34-0, and they were a 1 seed, but they were really the underdog for this tournament because everyone was kind of writing them off. They were saying, oh, they're 31, they're 30-0, but they're playing in a really easy conference. You know, they don't have any quality wins. And so for me personally, I was going for them. I wanted them to win the whole thing just to prove a point.
Me too. And they people forgot last year they went to the Final Four, so it wasn't like, oh well, this team coming out of nowhere, they're 34-0 or 31-0. Like it doesn't matter. Like they went to the Final Four, so it's like, oh, so they're better than last year. Like you're expecting them to go pretty far. I mean that's what my thing was. I was actually kind of scared though when they got drawn into Louisville's bracket. And Louisville's coming on hot. Last year, Louisville won the national championship. So it's gonna be interesting. Other teams that look good, Michigan State. Every analyst picked Michigan State almost on ESPN to go all the way. I mean, that's kind of like too much. I don't know. They're a good team. They're a pretty solid team. I don't really want them to win, but it's gonna be interesting here on out. Virginia
too.
Yeah. They actually were losing for a little bit against their 16. My girlfriend was gonna be like, they're gonna lose to like 16. I'm like, no, it's early. Let's calm down. So they're doing pretty. I mean, they're doing well. Arizona's doing well. Florida's doing well.
Yeah.
So
Matt, who do you like? Who do you like moving forward?
Louisville might be pretty good, man. Them and Michigan State looks good, and Virginia are the teams that I'm looking at. Virginia has the best defense out of all of them. That's the only reason why I would say Virginia, and Florida too. I mean, there's actually a lot of good teams still left.
Yeah, I mean, my bracket thankfully is still intact.
Who do you got, man?
I have Florida coming out of the top bracket.
Top left.
Top left. Bottom left is Michigan State. Then top right is Arizona. Bottom is Louisville. And I have Florida beating Louisville in the title game.
That's good.
So, I mean, I'm still in good shape. But, I mean, you can't underestimate Virginia. These 11 seeds, like Stanford, everyone was picking
Baylor.
Baylor. Baylor is one of those teams.
And, I watched them last year. We went to we saw them in the NIT last year, and so they have a lot of the same players on their team, like their guard and their main point guard, and I can't remember who else. I just remember reading the names. I read the recap yesterday, and they just apparently just swarmed all over Creighton. Like Creighton wasn't even close. I mean, they won by 30, so yeah, obviously it wasn't close. So Baylor's one of those teams. It's like you're just looking at a team. When it gets to this point, it's all about who's hot, like who's streaking right now, and so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and people forget Baylor went to 2 straight title games. They lost both of them, but they were in back-to-back title games. So then their coach left to go coach the Celtics. I mean, listen, they got right back in there, and Creighton was a team that They were all over the news. I forget their player's name now. He finished his career 5th all time in scoring for Division I basketball. Like he was putting up just crazy numbers every game.
Creighton?
Yeah, for Creighton.
Yeah, McDermott.
Yeah, McDermott.
Yeah, he's it's kind of sad that he's had to go out that way, but he did. So I mean, it's kind of interesting. Let's see where we're gonna go from now. So you said you had Florida. Who else you had? You said Louisville.
Florida, Louisville, Arizona, Michigan State.
Arizona.
I think that those are the 4 best teams. See, I was actually going to do an upset pick Creighton over Arizona. Thankfully, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I had them go. I didn't have Creighton beating Arizona, but I had them playing Arizona.
Yeah, that's what I had too.
And so that screwed up that. I had Wichita going far, but I had Louisville going all the way up to that point. I have Iowa State. Yeah. I watched them in the Big 12 tournament, and they were really good. Like, they killed it. And they're without their best player, or one of their best players. So, and they're still just playing really well. They took on a tough North Carolina team, a team that I was talking to one of my dad's work associates who's just huge into college basketball. It's like one of those guys who's been following college basketball for like 20, 30 years. And probably 20 years. I don't want to make him sound that old. And he was saying, he's like, watch out for North Carolina. Like, if they can get past Iowa State, they're going to be really tough. And they were giving Iowa State a really tough game. So I think it's one of those things, too. It's like, if you face that tough battle, you're looking good, man. Like, I mean... It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see who goes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always this Sweet 16 is always fun to watch. Just Sweet 16, the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's always that one team. You know, who's it going to be this year? You know, you don't know, but
Yeah, very true. Like you said, with the Stanford or the Baylor, Kentucky, beating Wichita State, and of course, with Calipari and basically grooming his freshmen to become first-round draft picks. If they can get a run going, because people forget, coming into the year, Kentucky was top 5 team in the nation. Yeah. So sometimes you just maybe teams are just waiting for this moment to kind of break out.
Oh yeah.
They got in the tournament and kind of just start putting things together. Who knows? I mean, who knows? It's gonna be interesting. It's exciting. It always is.
Oh yeah, it never disappoints. It's always fun watching that, like you said, like that hot team that wins their conference, or the whole plays really well.
Oh yeah.
And UConn's another team.
Yeah, I've had Villanova beating them. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
I think many people had Villanova over them.
Everyone was saying how strong Villanova was this year, and they were like, "Oh wow, Villanova, like don't underrate them. They're like a dark horse." I'm like, "All right, fine, I'll give you the pick. But what do? You go and lose." So, yeah, no, it'll be interesting. And you get excited too, rooting for that small team, coming out of nowhere. Like it doesn't matter even if you have them run a bracket or not. Like if they're busting everybody's bracket, you don't feel that bad, first of all, and you just it's just exciting, Like I don't know. It's like you said, you gotta love it.
You gotta love it. Yep. It seems like there's always like every game seems to come down to the last like 5 seconds, and you're sitting in there for like the last like maybe 30 seconds of the game, and it's like an agonizing half an hour. Just constant timeout.
Yeah.
It always seems to come down to a final 3.
It goes down to final 30 minutes when there's like a minute left in the actual game time.
Yeah, it's funny.
So, all right, well, I think we're gonna move on. We're gonna take a quick little break.
How about some Rush for you?
A little Rush.
It's
becoming like a tradition now.
Yeah, you gotta play some.
You gotta play some
Rush.
a little bit.
This is Subdivisions.